From the Weather NorCal Command Center, this is your morning update.
Kent's Meats and Grocery is much more than a grocery store. We carry a full line of quality meats, local and organic vegetables, and a large variety of fish, Green Mountain Smart Control pellet grills, and a full deli case of sandwiches and side dishes.
Well, happy Monday morning to you. It is a happy Monday morning for me as well. I want to thank all of you for welcoming Brian Wilson with open arms. And, you know, he did a great job, I think. And I am looking forward to having him just continue to do weekends for me. And I'm enjoying, I mean, it was just, it's been a while. You know, starting up Weather NorCal has been a big challenge. One of my biggest challenges that I've ever pursued. And I have no regrets. I think this is something that is going to continue. I'm going to work hard to really help it grow and become what I would like to see it become. And I think it's on its way. And by giving me some breathing room on the weekends, I tell you what, wow, what a weekend. It was so nice to just free my mind a little bit here, right? And not have to worry about Weather NorCal and know that it was in good hands. And it certainly was. And I think Brian did a great job. And again, I want to thank you all for welcoming him. So with that free weekend, I was able to take my family up to Klamath. I wanted to make sure we could kind of get the best view of the annular eclipse. And I know Alturas was a great spot, but you can see here we have a pretty good ring around the moon, that is. Here's the moon, right? So we have a pretty good ring. As you get farther and farther away from the center of where that eclipse is going through, you kind of get this a little bit more skewed and you have less of a ring on one side. And you can kind of see, I mean, you have a little bit more on this side, a little bit less on this side, but still, it was spectacular to see. My wife and I were trying really hard to get images by taking our glasses and putting it over the camera of just the phone, right? But my son was able to figure out a way to get images like this. I think he did a great job. So captured by Aiden Kruger, none other than my son. Very proud of him for what he had captured here. Just proud of him in general. But just a great sight. And of course, a great view as well. And we were just out in farming country, no one else around really. And it was like we were just watching it by ourselves. It was just great. I loved it. And it was so nice to be able to have the weekend off to do that. So I want to thank my son for getting this great image. I want to thank all of you for sending in your images. Some great images coming in. All right, so as we move forward, we go through the week. This upcoming Sunday, so this Sunday, be sure to check this out. This is the second time they'll be doing this. It's the second annual Moo and Boo Open House event. This is going to be at the Cottonwood Veterinary Clinic. And you can see it's on 3917 Main Street, Cottonwood, behind the old auction yard. Free admission, costumes are encouraged. So yeah, from 10 a.m. until 2 p.m. this upcoming Sunday. Be sure to check it out. Should be a good time. Here, look at your weather headlines. And you know, we've got the showers returning, believe it or not. We've got some rain in the forecast for today for almost everyone. Not everyone getting in on this for the most part, but there you can see dry and warmer by tomorrow. In fact, we have trending warmer. Temperatures are going to be warming up through the week. So let's take a look at what our planner looks like today, region by region. For the valley, you got the clouds moving in, and I'm expecting in the afternoon, parts of the valley seeing the rain. We'll get into exactly who sees most of that rain. I think the north end of the valley around Redding, maybe as far south as Red Bluff, Chico, not as much. Siskiyou, Modoc, I think Mount Shasta will see better chances for rain and more rain than, say, Alturas, for example. Then we take into the eastern mountains. There's a chance many of us in the eastern mountains may not even see a drop of rain, but it depends on where you are. Bernie, yeah, I think you're going to see measurable rainfall. Susanville, probably not so much. Okay, now I'm going to take you off into the north coast. Yeah, your wet weather this morning, even in the afternoon hours, not to mention the inland areas, and even Trinity County getting in on that rain as well. So where is most of the rain going to be? That's right, to the west. And that's usually what we see with these types of systems here. There you can clearly see the cloud cover. You can see the swirling area of low pressure. All of this moving in our direction, cooling us off, and giving many of us some wet weather, but not everyone. So let's walk you through the timing of it all. All right, so here in the valley, you're looking at dry conditions. clear skies. Some of the high clouds beginning to move in, clear skies in the eastern mountains. Clouds, though, moving in. By sometime around 8 o'clock this morning, we see that cold front begin to move into the north coast. This is where the rain will be heaviest. You can see it's the most organized, and we're seeing some decent rain coming out of it. Now we take it about 10 a.m. Now we're kind of right on where that cold front is here on the north coast. Leading edge of it hitting Hayfork and Weaverville. And you can see western Siskiyou County, Etna, maybe Wairika seeing a little bit of rain at this point, and maybe even Mount Shasta as early as 10 o'clock this morning as well. But you can see the heaviest rainfall still mainly closest to the coast. Taking to the noon hour. Now we're seeing Hayfork, Weaverville, Etna, Mount Shasta, Wairika, all of these areas seeing the decent rain. We're on the back edge of the cold front now for the coast, and it's kind of backing off as far as the intensity of the rain, but still some scattered showers. Notice the leading edge of the rain trying to move into places like Redding. So if around the noon hour you start experiencing a few sprinkles, wouldn't be surprised. But this is going to really weaken by the time it moves over the valley. Now, about 2, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the afternoon, so between 2 and 4 o'clock in the afternoon, Redding, I think we'll see the best chance for some measurable rainfall. Not a ton, but some measurable rainfall. You can see it's pushing through Red Bluff, even parts of Chico and Willows. But you see how it's at the very tail end of that band of rain, which means either one, it will not materialize, or number two, if it does, you're talking a sprinkle or two. So I do not anticipate much for Glenn and Butte counties. So you can see how it's weakening as it pushes eastward. And as it heads eastward into the eastern mountains, it's significantly weaker. So, I think Chester, yes, maybe. Bernie, I think you could see some showers. But you head into Susanville, Quincy, there's a very good chance you may not even see a drop of rain. Now, Alturas, not out of the question for some sprinkles and light showers, but I wouldn't count on much, honestly. That's going into this evening. Now, this might be overdoing it, but we might see some development here around Chico, Willows. But again, I think the bulk of it today will be at the north end of the valley. And then later on tonight, it's all pretty much gone, drying out entirely for everyone for your Tuesday. It looks like still some clouds along the coast Tuesday, but plenty of sunshine pretty much anywhere else you go. So let's take a look at those forecast rainfall totals. And surprise, surprise. Where's all the rain? Where's most of the rain? The coast, right? And I think some of the higher exposed ridge mountaintops could be looking at the potential for over an inch of rain. But here you can see, most impressive for the coast, Del Norte, Humboldt counties. And there you can see it starts to taper off as you start heading eastward. Redding, 0.05 of an inch of rainfall. Fall could be give or take in that type of situation. And then you can see the forecast model is not picking up on any measurable rainfall for Red Bluff, Chico, Willows. Not out of the question for a trace here and there, but you get the idea. And then as you start heading eastward, you start seeing, again, less and less in the way of rain. All right, so there's a look at the ridge of high pressure. It's building in. It's going to warm us up. We're talking about dry conditions, and would you believe it? 90s are in the forecast. Now, we're not talking 95. We're not talking 98 degrees. We're talking 90, 91 in the valley. And even parts of the inlet areas could touch 90 degrees as well. But this is going to be the peak of the warming trend around Thursday. Now, that will start to kind of shift back down to the south and east. Some cooler air will ride to our north. For now, it should be dry this weekend. Some of the models indicating that maybe we could pick up a little bit here Saturday, Sunday, but overall, just the cooler air moving in. Now, it looks like this is trying to build in, but as we go into next week, now this is a long ways out, but I'm seeing a trend for some cooler air coming down from Canada, and it'll swing down over us. Could bring us some rain, could bring us some higher elevation snow as well. It's a long ways out, but just a trend that I'm watching. Okay, so here are your wave heights, and we take you through tomorrow afternoon. They're not going to lower a whole lot, so still fairly high wave heights entering the picture here for any of you that need to be out on your boats. There's your wind forecast. South winds at about 10 to 20 knots. Your waves from the south at 7 feet at 7 seconds, and from the northwest at 5 feet at 16 seconds. We've got those rain showers they'll be dealing with here throughout, especially the morning hours, not as bad in the afternoon. All right, so you get the idea. See where the clouds are? Most of the clouds are here. Most of the rain is in this area right here. Really, here is where most of it is. Tapers off as you head eastward. Chance for showers for Redding down to Red Bluff. Slimmer chances for any measurable rainfall for places like Corning, Chico, and Oroville. But again, maybe a sprinkle or two. maybe a trace. Bernie, I think you can see some rain. But as you start heading into Lassen Peak, Chester, Susanville, Quincy, again, those chances for any measurable rainfall are pretty much almost out of the picture here. And not to mention places like El Tourist and even Aden. All right, so let's take a look at your 7-day outlook. And, it's going to be warming up after today. There you can see temperatures peaking somewhere around Thursday. So for many of the mountain locations, yeah, we're talking low, maybe even some mid-80s for some of those daytime highs. But look at the valley. Yeah, it's warming up. And we're up to about 90, 91. And, if we get up to 92, 93 for some places, not out of the question. But, yeah, I think somewhere in the low 90s for Wednesday, Thursday. And then temperatures start to taper off again by this upcoming weekend. We're back into the upper 70s. All right, here's a look at your 7-day outlook for the coast. And, yes, that's where the heaviest rainfall will be. Even inland showers for places like Weaverville as well, not to mention Hayfork, Trinity County in general. And then it dries out, begins to warm up. Now, I've got 89 degrees for the inland areas. Could you get up to 90? Not out of the question. And you can see Weaverville about 87. But then temperatures also begin to drop as we get into the weekend.